I'd like to welcome you to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. The one and only state senator Kathy Pugh, candidate for mayor. All of these people are buzzing around all of a sudden. They want to know what you are about to say.
Don't you like it? I'm
Absolutely.
excited about it.
Okay, red dress, red carpet. Let's start with Heart and Soul magazine.
Wonderful magazine, brings great attention to Baltimore, national attention. Couldn't be more excited about what it does in terms of image for Baltimore and talking about exercising and women. And you know, I'm a real believer in exercising, having started the Baltimore Marathon some 10 years ago, watching it grow from 6,000 people to now 20,000 people with a $28 million impact on the city. Nothing is more important than our health and how we should take care of ourselves. Preventive medicine, that's what healthcare is all about.
Okay, let's move on to this mayor's race for a second. When you think of the field, your thoughts on the busy field, do you think you came straight to the top like you no doubt would have aimed for? Where are we? 1 or 2 weeks into the
I think people will make that decision. I've gotten a lot of feedback this week, very positive.
You're being modest now.
Yeah, well, very positive. Had an opportunity to participate in my first debate, really did enjoy it. Had an open house today, packed. People just piled into the campaign headquarters. We've done a number of things, and I just feel the energy from the people. We walk out in the neighborhoods. Folks are saying, we're really happy about your run. We're glad you're in this race, and we want you to be the next mayor of Baltimore. And the only thing I keep saying to them is, if you vote, we win.
Any final thoughts?
I'm excited. I'm going to be the next mayor of Baltimore. I'm going to push this city forward. I'm going to take us in a different direction. It's all about making this a great city.
I got a question for you. Billboard made the 6 o'clock news yesterday. FOP, firefighters saying stop cutting our funding, blah, blah, blah. You know, the national committee of all of the mayors, you know,
right.
They're in town.
Well,
should the people have sent the message like we need more money for schools?
Well, people will voice their opinions, I think, in the election when it comes up. People want a difference made in Baltimore in terms of focusing on the people, focusing on the young people. And as I said, this campaign is going to be all about encouraging our young people and understanding that they can do better. We will help them do better, focusing on the people who live here, growing the city's population, creating more home ownership among the 49% of our city residents who are renters, converting a percentage of those into homeowners, bringing back the Dollar House program, investing right here in Baltimore, and everybody says jobs, 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 jobs. But creating economic wealth in our community, to me, is very important.
You know, two things you mentioned in your grand opening on North Avenue, and I have to commend you for coming to the neighborhood in which I grew up on, West North Avenue. That spoke volumes. Even saw some of your white constituents who came down to North Avenue. I was real pleased to see that. But two things you talked about was, one, lead paint poisoning.
Well, you know, one of the things I said was that it made no sense for the city to take people to court for a $12 million judgment. They spent $4 million fighting it, and we're going to spend millions and millions, and I'm not against the race downtown, but when we can spend that kind of $8 million on that race, you cannot tell me that we can't figure out how that we solve this problem of lead paint in our city. And what I said was that millions are going to be raised to do this race, and what I'm looking at doing is creating an endowment fund so that we can begin to pay these lead paint cases, because people don't understand the difficulty that parents face, that teachers face when we have to deal with children who've been lead paint poisoned because of the housing stock that we have in our own city. So we have an obligation to take care of those young people, and I'm going to put that in the forefront of my administration, because I will be the biggest fundraiser for this city, and so I'm going to make sure the public and private sector joins me in taking care of the people of our city.
And so you did note that any leftover campaign funds will go towards
campaign funds will go to the lead paint endowment fund, and the first fundraiser I will have after I'm elected the new mayor of Baltimore will be to create an endowment fund so that it will give back to the hundreds and thousands of people in our city who've been lead paint poisoned.
Well, we are very grateful that you did not forget the people who've been fighting for lead paint and for the children. Another issue that you alluded to that I've heard no one talk about, as a matter of fact, I'm typically hearing people say lock them up, lock them up, lock them up, was ex-offenders.
Well, let me just say, ex-offenders mean that you paid your debt to society, and there are a number of ex-offenders in this community who are willing to go out and talk to young people. First of all, get them to understand that a life of crime is not the way to go. And then we've got to create opportunities for them as well. We've got 9,000 prisoners coming back to our city every year. We've got to create a pipeline where they can develop employment opportunities and go to work and become more productive members of our society. I'm going to do that.
How can people support you?
KatherinePugh.com, 410-685-7844. 410-685-7844, 819 East Baltimore Street. Come on down, join a campaign of energy, join a campaign that's going to take the city in the right direction.
Good deal. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Keep watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.